Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. My name is Connor, and in this live stream we're going to be covering the current pullback that is happening in the crypto market because stocks are up. S&P 500 is green at the moment. However, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins are all retracing relatively hard right now. So let's get right into things and start off like we always do with our crypto market overview. So looking at things at large at the current moment in time, Bitcoin is trading just underneath $118,000. Ethereum is trading for $3,600. XRP holding strong at 330. These majors are not really doing too bad, but we're seeing some deeper retracements in some alts in general. Looking at the crypto bubbles top 100, you can see that there is a bit of a mixed bag. However, it is mostly red today, right? A few are green, a few random outliers, Pump Fund and Pengu, but really everything is red at the current moment in time. So what is causing the pullback right now? By the way, Spark SPK, what an insane trade and what an insane move. Real quick, here's SPK. Took off to 18 cents from the 3.2 cent entry we gave inside of the Crypto Empire Mastermind. But anyways, what's causing the pullback at the moment? So let's look at some of these major charts and get into them. And looking at Bitcoin dominance to start things off. Bitcoin dominance last week fell off of a cliff. All right, we had one of those candles that tells us that basically altcoin season is here, right? When we have these huge red Bitcoin dominance candles, it causes altcoins to pump. We haven't really had a candle this big in terms of percent in a while, right? This is 5.8% here. I mean, looking at some of these other weekly candles, 4%, the big ones, right? 5.3. This was the largest Bitcoin dominance drop on the weekly candle we have had really since 2000 and since the last cycle. Right, so this was the largest drop we saw. Now what happened is we came right into these weekly lows, and this is also weekly demand, and we're seeing a reaction from weekly demand at the current moment in time, as we can see. Right, price came right into the level here on the weekly time frame, and now we're seeing a bounce. So with Bitcoin dominance going up, that is going to cause altcoins to pull back. That just simply means that money's flowing out of altcoins and into Bitcoin currently. All right. So that is one reason for sure where we are seeing this altcoin pullback. Now also Tether dominance, stablecoin dominance, right? So a few things here. Of course, there's the 2-day level, right? And on the 1 day, depending on how you want to look at things, on the 1 day we could have even further refined things and said that this was a 1-day partial hidden order block here, because there's a fair value gap and there's a daily candle, and we want to take it from wick to wick, right? So this would be a 1-day partial. But anyways, if we look at the reaction, whether you use the 2-day demand zone, whether you use the 1-day partial, USDT dominance is now up, right? So is this one of these major reversals, right? Like we had over here in May, over here in June. Is this going to be another one where we're going to see this one spike up really hard, or are we going to see a shallow retracement before eventual continuation down lower on USDT dominance? That's the $1 million question, really. Now, I do favor bullish momentum continuing on until later August. However, the market's going to do what the market wants to do, so we have to be open to every single possible scenario. But I mean, I do have a bias, which is, you know, we continue to go until later August, and then we start to see essentially, you know, some bearish action. But anyways, we'll see how we go here. There's the chance that we're going to correct until August, and then we'll pump into August, right? But anyways, we'll talk about all of that when the time comes. As of right now, we're looking at USDT dominance. What's going to happen here? Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see another move into these levels at 4.4%, right? Our previous range that we had here on this chart. All right, we're not too far off of that. We'll see if these highs hold and we go for 4.4. And if we end up breaking above 4.4, I mean, it might want to retest the trend line break all the way up here. But again, we're not going to talk about that at the current moment in time because we're taking it level by level. And as of right now, we're watching to see if Tether Dominance is going to break these local highs and go for the previous range retest at 4.4% before continuation. So this going up obviously means coins will be going down in a retracement, and we're seeing that in real time. And also, worth noting that there is, where the 2-day demand zone is, there's also a 3-day demand zone, right? So we haven't hit the 3-day demand zone, just lower, which is a bullish case, right? The bullish case is we get a shallow retracement here. This comes into the 3-day demand zone. We hit 4% USDT dominance, and this causes Ethereum to go and hit its 4K target, and we get a little bit of a relief on altcoins too. All right, that's what we like to see. But anyways, let's get into ETH right now and what we should be potentially be looking out for. And we're going to look at Bitcoin too just after this. So here is ETH on the daily. And on the daily, you can see we hit 3,860. We're now pulling back. All right, let's go to the lower time frames here. Now, I said in yesterday's stream that we do not want to lose these local lows that formed, right? The local lows that formed at 36.16. Well, we lost those lows, all right? Price has breached through it, and we have some lower time frame closures like on the 1 hour below it. All right, so at this moment in time, this is indicating weakness, and we are retesting some previous levels of support. Now, the main level is still this 1 day, this 1 day breaker block coming in at $3,300, 3,300, right? This is a main level to be tested. There is the possibility this continues to get left behind and it will be used at a later date. And with that being said, if this is going to get left behind, then price isn't going to retrace this deep into it. It's important to understand, though, that this would be a drop of around 9 to 10% from the current price, and that is definitely possible. And this would be a strong level to buy, in my opinion, on Ethereum over here at 32.50. Again, just a daily time frame breaker block left behind over here on the 1st of February. So that's a main level on ETH. There are, local supports here. We're reacting on one right now. Another one down here at 34.42. But in general, the main level on the higher time frames to look for on ETH, if we're going to continue to pull back, is at 3,300 to 32.50. That is juicy. That is prime down there. It's just a matter of if we're going to get it or not. Now, Bitcoin, on the other hand, is still showing less weakness. Not necessarily showing strength, but it's showing less weakness than these other charts, right? We have Bitcoin dominance going up, so Bitcoin isn't pulling back as much. That makes sense. It should. Anyways, you can see we had a lot of buyers step in down here at $116,600. For anyone that is just catching into the streams now and hasn't been watching our previous streams, basically what we have going on here on Bitcoin is a range. Okay, we have a choppy range at the current moment in time, and there's also the case of a triangle, right? There's also the case of a triangle if we want to put some trend lines on the chart too, right? We can say that there's also a triangle here. Now, Bitcoin is not showing breaks of structure. It's not showing as much weakness as Ethereum right now. So it is still possible we see BTC come down and sweep these lows over here at $115,700. All right, these lows at $115,700. Right? If we come down here, we want to see a swing failure pattern. We want to see a quick reclaim on BTC. If we lose the 115,700 level over here, well, that opens up the door wide open. Of course, for the CME gap, right? Don't forget, guys, we still have the fresh CME gap over here at 115K. 115,600 down to 114,400. So there's that. And then we have the big previous all-time high level at 112K. And really, we talked about how 113,000 to 111,000 is a must-hold level on Bitcoin. So we have our levels marked on BTC. We're not really showing much weakness right now. There is the case of, trying to anticipate a reversal forming still from this range, but your invalidation is pretty obvious, right? You just don't want to see it lose the range lows. So we'll see what happens here on BTC, right? Not really showing too much weakness. And if we can still continue to hold, we may see everything pick back up. But if we do end up losing the range low, well, we have to brace for more downside. So let's talk about bracing for more downside. What does that mean on altcoins, individual coins? Let's go through them, right? Let's go through them one by one, basically. First one we can look at is Dogecoin. So Dogecoin at the current moment in time spiked all the way up here to this previous high from the 14th of February at 28 cents, right? We had a bearish SFP on Doge, resulting in this current down move. Every single altcoin has a similar type of chart at the current moment in time. All of last week, it was nothing but pumps, right? Spike up, and now we're starting to see the retracement. This is common basically with every single altcoin out there, especially out of the top 100 or the higher market cap coins, because the correlation is so strong. But anyways, here on Dogecoin, a few levels we can go over here. So there is a 2-day partial level on Dogecoin, and I will show you how we found this one. It's not rocket science, right? It's the same stuff we always do. But all we do is we look at the huge inefficiencies on the chart. For example, Dogecoin pumping violently last week left behind a lot of fair value gaps. Okay, so then what we want to do is identify, by looking to the left, if there's any liquidity that is actually left behind inside of these fair value gaps. Right? For anyone who's unaware, the fair value gap is this candle low to this candle high. This is the FVG here. So if we look to the left, what do we have? We can see we have some large full body candles. Okay, that tells us that there's liquidity in there with those full bodies. So we don't want to take that full fair value gap, and we don't want to take these full candles. We only want to take the full fair value gap with the candle bodies, and we get this 2-day partial level. And as you can see, price came very close to coming into it just a little while ago, but it didn't hit. All right, and this is at 24 cents down to 23.2 cents approximately. So Doge has been really strong. It's been showing a lot of strength, and it's coming into this 2-day partial level. Nobody knows ahead of time if this is going to be the zone to reverse, but there is a case. There's a bull case for this level to lead to new highs. It's very close to hitting, right? So if we do have BTC and ETH kind of show more weakness here, we have to kind of expect Doge to slice through this, because as crypto always works, it goes up really fast and it goes down just as fast, basically. So yes, this coin pumped 40% last week, 50% over 6 days. I mean, it can certainly pull back 20% plus in the same amount of time, right? If we're in a buy program, in my opinion. So if we were in a sell program, obviously things would be different. We would be more bearish, but I still do believe we are in a buy program, meaning that we want to favor bullish breaker blocks. And this is a bullish breaker block on Dogecoin, right? In buy programs, bullish levels work well. In sell programs, bearish levels work well. My bias is that we're in a buy program, so I'm expecting bullish levels to work well. And we have a higher time frame one on Doge. If this fails, there is a 10-hour level too. Okay, worth mentioning right now. Same exact thing, same exact strategy. Basically where you have, this is a partial actually now. This got used a bit on the way up higher. But anyways, you have this fair value gap in price with some liquidity behind it here. And this is coming into play at 22.5 cents. All right, so for Dogecoin, we want to see one of these levels end up holding, and we want to see them result into new highs. Okay, so if we get a move over the next 24 to 48 hours on Doge into here, and you line that up with the confluence from some of these majors, right? Well, that could produce a good long trade for Doge to new highs. But that's just one there. That's just Doge. So we can keep on going through these, right? By the way, guys, shout out to everyone right now in our live chat. Smash up the like button if you haven't smashed up that like button just yet. And appreciate all you guys being here, right? Shout out to Devore68. Shout out to Crypto Mike, Declan Wyatt, Dan Griffiths. We got Reaper. We got Thomas. We got Shane. Shane, what's up, Shane? Oi, oi. We got Dre. We got Guts Motors, Georgios, Mike O. Appreciate all you guys. We'll get to more of these comments in a little bit, but I'm just going to keep going through my analysis right now. Hope you guys don't mind. I'm pretty sure that's what you're all here for anyway. So let's just keep on going through what you're all here for, which is my crypto market analysis. Anyways, let's look at Salana as well, right? Salana, important, higher market cap, major coin, top 10. So anyways, Sol is not losing $190 just yet. As you can see, we are basically in a higher time frame level of supply. Why is this a higher time frame level of supply? Well, we want to look to the left. And if we look to the left over here from what happened back in February, we can see that this price level, $200 approximately, right? We'll put a zone up here. But this price level, in the past, has resulted in huge volumes of selling to push price lower. So supply exceeds demand here for Solana at 200. Hence the reaction we are seeing over here on the right side of the chart from this move out. Now, for Sol, we'll see how we go. But 190 is an important level, right? Because 190 is basically where price, once it broke 190 over here in February, it just fell to the crater. It fell to the bottom. So 190 is a level. You can see it as well on the lower time frame. If we go to the 1 hour price chart, right, we have some lower time frame. It's a pretty clear level of support here in the lower time frame. Right here at $190. So you can see price battling with the 190 level currently, right? It fell through it, trying to reclaim it now. Too early to say if this level is going to hold or not. It is continuing to hold. If we do end up pulling back, we have to be aware. We have to be aware that this thing can retrace fairly significantly before another leg up higher. Right, so if 190 is lost, I would look for higher time frame demand to be retested. And looking at this daily time frame chart, where is higher time frame demand? We have a level at 175, 176, and then we have a really big level down here at $164 on Solana. So 190, 175, and 164. Mark those out on Sol. Take it level by level, right? If 190 is lost, well, then we're coming. This 1 week supply zone invalidated. So what we'll now do is just put in that fresh demand we spoke of here. All right, I'm going to call this fresh demand. It's a rally, base rally level. And we have fresh demand down here as well at 164. So we'll see how we go, right? We'll see how we go here. We'll see how deep this retracement is going to be on Sol. I don't really trade this coin much, but it's still a good idea to keep tabs on it because it can have broader implications on the overall market. But that's what's going on here on Solana, guys. Hopefully that's crystal clear, right? We came into this level of supply that's resulted in huge moves down in the past. We're reacting to it. Also, don't forget as well, right? This is the breakout line at 184. We haven't even really retested the breakout line just yet. We did test the opposite pole, or this wick, at 187, but we haven't tested the higher time frame. We tested the general area. We'll see if it ends up holding or not. if we don't hold this level on Sol, we know the levels to watch for. Let's keep on going through them. Let's keep on going through them. So here is Litecoin. And Litecoin is a coin that it's only good to trade in a bull market because it's a dino coin. So it's only going to move when the market is really woken up. So that's right now. So on LTC, similar to Salana, right, we had a higher time frame breakout. We had the highs from May 2025 lead to that retracement back down to $75. Now we have the breakout of that 103 level, right? We broke out, we broke resistance, we cleared those May highs. Higher time frame candle bodies all closed above the previous swing high, telling us that we're bullish and we want to buy a pullback. Where's fresh demand? Well, where's the level to retest here? In my opinion, it's going to be this breakout level on Litecoin. It's going to be this $100 103 level, the previous highs, to get retested here on LTC. And in terms of percentage away, this is 8% away. The equivalent of 164 on Sol on Litecoin, that would be down here at like 95 to 90. Okay. So this is fresh demand, right? Fresh demand at like 95 to 90. And then we have the previous breakout level at 103. Ideally, the previous breakout level ends up holding, and then this pushes up back to $360. That is the grand plan. That's ideally what happens. But, yeah, hard to say if we actually do end up getting that. Let's see. I just did something here on my screen. I think I lost. Here we go. I got all my stuff back. Was wondering where that went for a second. TradingView is such a troll, I swear. Anyways, we got some stuff. We got some super chats rolling in right now. And people asking, so we have a super chat from Bartland. He says, what do you expect from the Epic token, high from Croatia? So I made that video on Epic token yesterday, which I'm sure you guys have seen, right? Keep in mind that was a sponsored video. I mentioned it was a sponsored video in that video. I will never do that, right? Right, I'll always say if it is. But anyways, what do I expect from this coin? Well, you have to keep in mind this thing went on a crazy violent pump. 306% in 2 weeks. So we should definitely not be FOMOing into the coin now. Okay. With that being said, we talked about the 12-hour level in that video. We're in the 12-hour level now. With the market showing some weakness, and with this being a low market cap coin that just went up 300% in a very short amount of time, we have to be careful of this thing flushing everyone. Okay, this also is traded on perps. You can see it's listed on perps on Binance. And if you look at the volume as well on Binance, Binance Futures 63 million volume. 2bit 18.5, Bybit Futures 18 million, BitGet 14 million. So huge volume compared to the tiny market cap of 50 million. All right, the Binance volume alone is well over that overall market cap of the coin. So this coin it's a whale playground. It's a whale playground, Bartland. It's going to do what the whales want it to do. This pump was not retail buying pressure. Okay, this was not retail buying this coin because it's the greatest thing ever. It was the whales, it was the cabal, it was whoever you want to, whatever word you want to use to describe it. Okay, that's what this pump was. Okay, it wasn't actual demand. So with that being said, because there's some weakness right now, I would not FOMO into this coin. Not at all. I think that if you do see it come down here to the 160s, right, the previous resistance, then we can talk about potentially buying. But as of right now, I would just be patient. But that's my situation for Epic Chain. Great question. Guys, smash up that like button And we have another super chat from Zenbio. He says, thoughts on reactive network chart. Take a quick look at this for $2, man. This is not the Dollar Tree. But anyways, quick look at this. SFP, the highs after a parabolic move. So same thing as Epic. You have to be weary of a larger retracement from here. And previous range low is 5.7 cents. So maybe it goes and tests the previous range low at 5.7. The next previous range low would be down here at 3.8. So take it level by level. If you want to buy the coin, only do it at obvious levels. Okay. So I would say 5.7 is one. This whole kind of 4 cent area as well. 3.8 if you want to be specific. But yeah, I mean, it just cleared other highs. So look to buy the pullback, because in a buy program, after you clear highs, you want to buy the pullback to key levels for the continuation move. But anyways, that's React. Appreciate the super chats, guys. But yeah, I mean, we're going to have to stop looking at these really micro cap coins for $2 super chats going forward, because it does interrupt the flow of the live stream. And like I just said, this is not the Dollar Tree. So, I mean, I'm going to have to make a rule right now. If you want me to look at some random shit coin, it has to be like at least $10 right now. Or I'm not going to interrupt my flow of the live stream to go look at some random coin that I've never heard of that you want me to look at. Anyways, I hope that's clear. Don't take it personally, but, you know, we have to keep this train rolling and moving here. And we can't get caught up in an individual's particular question for a dollar or two, right? Anyways, hope that makes sense. Hope it's all clear. Don't take it personally. That's just the game. So we went over Litecoin. Let's keep on going through them. Algarand, some big levels on Algarand we have marked out already. And same story goes, where parabolic move, right? We cleared previous swing highs. We even cleared this high over here from the 2nd of March. We had a daily candle close above this high. So these levels are fully valid, in my opinion, on Algarand. These levels are hot. These would be great buy levels on this coin. You can see we have a 13-day level outlined here. A 13-day. Same exact thing. This is a partial, technically, so we can put 13-day P for partial. But it's the same story. I'll do it from scratch here to show you guys. So we always want to identify the huge inefficiencies, okay? So look at the fair value gap left behind here. It's huge. It's all of this. This is all the FVG. Now we want to look for liquidity inside of the fair value gap. Where do we have it? Well, we have it right here. We have it right there. So we want to isolate that level like so. And we don't need it to go that far. That's going into 2027. October is fine for now. And remember, that's a 13-day partial. So now on the lower time frame, if we go look at that, what is that level? What is that level? We know on the higher time frame, it's a key liquidity level. But really all this is this previous high structure, okay? So this would be just a basic support resistance flip. And we know that there's a 13-day level. And on the daily as well, you can see this is a 1-day partial. Why is it a partial? Because we have this wick over here. So this got used a bit already. Okay. If it was a full level, we would take it all the way to the candle body low here, but it's only a partial because of the wick. So that's why we take it how it is, to the high of this wick, like so, right? The high of this wick here. So these are some big levels here on Algarand. You know, there's also this down here, down at 20 cents, but I'm treating 25 cents to 23 cents as the main level to buy this dip on algo. And we also have the 50% right in there as well. So that's our level on Algarand. Okay, it's not that far away from the current market price. It is 6% to 11% away at the current moment in time. And again, because we cleared all the previous swing highs, we do expect this these bullish breakers to play out well. So ideally we get something like this, leading to a new breakout of new highs. But we will have to keep a close, watchful eye on this situation. Let's see. And Dre, good call on Atom. Let's go look at it. So looking at Atom right now, you can see that it is also doing the same thing that most of these other coins have done. Atom did not clear the highs like some of these other ones did, right? If we look at Litecoin, it pumped up here, right? Atom didn't clear the high. It's still underneath it. But anyways, it's still bullish market structure, and you did clear this high over here from June 10th. So anyways, we had that 6-hour level, and you can see how this 6-hour level did not hold. I mean, it could have been used for a scalp yesterday, but we had a prevailing structure of this bear flag, and this bear flag ended up taking the price lower here, right? This bear flag is a flag in, consolidation, breakdown, okay? And just for curiosity's sake, I'm going to measure the move of the flagpole. I don't usually do this, but I'm curious, right? So if we take this measured move, I feel like crypto right now, but maybe there's some validity to this. Okay, so if we take the measured move of the bear flag, yeah, it takes us right down here to the 460 level. And in that 460 level, or just below it, I should say, is a major 7-day level. Okay, same thing. This is behind this big fair value gap. This liquidity candle, this candle body here, is what we're using for this 7-day level. So here's the thing. Good chance that a lot of people would, one, want to buy here, but also like everyone who longed up here would probably close here at 450, 460. So with that being said, Atom, this is a huge buy level in my opinion at like 460 down to 440. Okay. What may end up happening is we come into the level and we have a huge bullish reversal to new highs. If you start to show weakness here and you lose it, I mean, that's just a major sign of weakness that you don't want to see at all. So I would say to keep a watchful eye. I would say to consider compounding here with a tight invalidation just below the level, because there's a very good chance that this 7-day breaker block will lead to a bullish reversal. Again, I do believe we're in a buy program, so I am biased that longs are going to work in these higher time frame breaker blocks, right? Still bullish on Naka. I think Naka is a good gaming project, yeah. And after my base video, the amount of people that asked me about Medicaid was pretty nuts, right? This base video. So I did do a deep dive into Medicaid, and that's an interesting one because they're one of the very few projects that base itself is taking an interest in. So maybe something going on there. And I mean, Bob's my uncle if you're watching this too. But in terms of gaming on base, Barrio won some Coinbase grants. So, I mean, that's a valid project too. So there's some valid options out there in gaming, but I still think Naka is solid. Yes, I do. Neon says, short-term Bitcoin will hold 117 or losing. Well, there's the case. There's the case that we continue to hold this bullish market structure, right? That we continue to hold the range low, and we actually pump up back here to the highs at 122, 123. As of right now, I mean, it's just kind of not much volatility, not much action happening here right now. So too little information to say, but I think there's a very strong case that I don't know if we're going to hold 117, right? But I think there's a strong case that we end up holding the overall structure. But 117 is not even the range low. So I can't confidently say we'll hold 117. Hey, big shout out to Fiat Hater. Caspa getting smart contracts end of August. End of August is kind of a danger period for me. And if Caspa pumps into the end of August, it's going to be a sell the news. Anyways, Georgios says shout out to Georgios from Greece. Said he long Sui and Swarms and bought Treb wide stop. So I want to look at Swarms real quick. Swarms is a coin where it's just playing with people right now. It's just in this range playing around with everyone trying to catch the breakout. And we do know the breakout is coming. In my opinion, this chart is bottoms, right? Pretty clear double bottom. With the bull div, right? That's all there. Okay, so in my opinion, this one has bottomed. But what's happening now on Swarms is this range is testing a lot of people's patience. So just 2 days ago, we had a move from the range low back to the range high. And everyone says it's going to break out, but now we're just retracing that entire pump today. So I think it's a good idea, Georgios, if you want to long the coin, then you want to take longs from where? The bottom of the range, right? The bottom of the range. What's the bottom of the range here? See the daily. I'm going to call the range like this. This is how I'm seeing it. All right, range low down here, 2.2 cents. Range high here, 2.741. So we want to buy for sure towards the bottom of the range, which is kind of now. Okay, if we end up coming back into that one-day demand level on Swarms, that would be the best entry. And yes, I agree with the wide stop loss idea, right? And where does everyone have their stop right now for Swarms? They all have it underneath this wick. They all have it underneath this wick at 2.089. This is where everyone's stop is right now. So if the market makers are going to troll the maximum amount of traders trying to catch this breakout, they're going to flush the stops and then pump it. If they don't want to wreck everyone and just send it from here instead, they may do that. But the highest probability entries are going to be as close to the range low as possible and as close to where people would get stopped out as possible. So that's closer to 2 cents. But you can build a position in this range, right? You can look to add more at the lows. I do think this is going to result in a breakout. Will it do a move like we saw recently on something like SPK? It's possible it does something like this, right? It is. I mean, look at the chart. It's not identical, but it's a bit older, but it's a similar kind of chart, right? This is the weekly on Swarms, and then let's go look at the daily on SPK. Right, same thing. Trend line, Swarms, weekly, trend line, break it. Is it going to violently pump? It looks like it wants to. It's just a matter of when. So we'll see how we go. Anyways, we have a super chat from Crypto Mike. He says, best channel on YouTube. Thanks for what you do. Smash the like, everyone. It's free and makes a difference. Hey, appreciate you, Crypto Mike. Thank you for that super chat, man. Appreciate your support. Shout out to James Brasco. We got Silvadala as well. Shane, no, I don't use stochastic RSI. I never have. Everyone has their own methods of doing things, right? Yeah, great to see all you guys right now. But listen, I'm going to go do a live stream for the Crypto Empire Mastermind. So I'm going to wrap this one up. All right, guys. So I'm going to hop over to a private live stream right now. But I do appreciate you being here for our YouTube live today. In the morning. In the morning right now. What is it? 11:30 a.m. I hope you're having a great day. Hopefully this pullback isn't really affecting your mood. We'll see how we go. Right, we'll see. I just outlined some major levels on the majors, Bitcoin, Ethereum, some higher cap altcoins. We looked at a few low caps, but in general, you guys should get the idea now. Okay, it would make sense to test higher time frame, fresh demand zones here. I gave you a few of them on some coins. Some of them are 6% lower, some of them might be 10% lower, but that's what to look for. Okay, I'll be live again soon, so don't worry. But anyways, I appreciate you all being here. My name is Connor from Crypto Empire. Smash up the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. And I'll see you all very soon. All right? Have a great day.